I want to talk about how to keep on working because a lot of people, including myself at various times, I'm getting quite good at it these days, to be honest, but wasn't always that way. You might work very hard for a day or even a week and then you just fall off. So, this is going to be the marketing funnel, but we're not going to be able to build something this dense and this compact and this effective and make millions of dollars with it if we can't be consistent. Because we, even once we build it, we still gotta make new ads, we still gotta make content, we still gotta write newsletters, manage our community, do live workshops, all of that kind of stuff, sales. So if we can't keep working, as in we don't have a good work ethic, but more importantly, like a consistent work ethic, it's not going to be very helpful. So in some ways, like this kind of video is even more important than what to do specifically here. If you've never watched one of my videos before, my name is Matthew Larson, and I work with about 400 clients per month. So, here's like Stripe stuff. Here's, people active paying 97, 97, 107, 497, 97, all that kind of stuff. And then, client wins. Here's some of my clients, that kind of stuff, reviews, all that kind of stuff, case studies. So I know that this stuff that I'm about to talk to works because not only has it worked for me, but it's worked for about 400 of my clients every single month. I've sold 3 businesses in the past 12 years, all of them agencies. Currently have a non-compete clause that prevents me from starting a new one. And I do every single thing that I talk about in all of these videos. So I'm not just kind of pulling it out of my ass here. This is what works for me. And you can agree with it or not, but try it. You just trying it for a day or two and either having it work for you or not is going to be more convincing one way or the other than me talking about it for 2 hours. And then I make these videos to try to sell you my consulting services. Duh. I don't know why we need to hide that. If I was going to do something for free that made no money, I would play golf or something. So, how to keep working. What I have here is a triangle. I think we would all agree that this is in fact a triangle. I'm going to copy and paste this text here. Might make it 200 or something just to make it smaller than the title. And this is what I found that works for me. A healthy dose of shame, a healthy dose of reminders, and a healthy dose of motivation. And I always go back and forth on this because in some degree you just got to stop being like a pussy, right? And just actually work. But at the same time, it's like people are clearly not doing that, right? So that's not helpful advice. It's like if someone was like doing heroin or something, oh, just stop doing heroin. Like, okay, that's very fucking helpful, right? So what I found is having a healthy dose of shame, motivation, and reminders really make it great to keep working. And you don't necessarily have to have a triangle like this one on a mural board, but you very well could, right? So I'll show you what I mean here. And I think has been very effective for myself. So I have, here's an example of something that I would consider to be a good reminder. So I post this every single day inside both of my group here and as well as my other Slack, my high ticket one. And just like how to stop stressing about tasks, complete the tasks. Excellent. And it's annoyingly true, and that's why it's so effective. Another thing with like shame, let's go with an example. Where are we? Yeah, this is an example of shame where it's just a meme, like cutting surprisingly deep. He had all the tools to fix his life, but he chose inaction instead. So, shame, reminder, okay, I'm a piece of shit who doesn't do anything. I know what I need to do. I'm not doing it. Reminder, how to do it, and then motivation, and that will be dependent. Let's say you want this is a nice family photo. Like this is what all men want deep inside, right? So maybe your motivation is you want to have a family like John Wayne, just big. Everyone's just together, beautiful, that kind of stuff. And you'd fill this out yourself, like whatever you want is whatever you want, and whatever really shames you is going to work very well. So like Dostoevsky, I don't know how to say it. So something like, you could go something like this, where your worst sin is that you betrayed yourself for nothing. And you could just, like, whatever shames you, because, everything doesn't have to be positive. Shame can be a very powerful motivator. And if it is, we got to use what works. And then reminders. I always like, I must not fear from Dune. And then you can basically do this for yourself type thing. And then whatever works. And then kind of make sure you like review it or deliver it to yourself, like via email every day or in your Slack or whatever you do, as much as possible. So like a good reminder every time you're feeling nervous, anxious, fear, like, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is a little death that brings total obliteration. Great movie, great book. Dune 2. Do that. And then maybe another motivation. Maybe you are like a materialistic person. So I used to have this, well, not these ones, but maybe you want an Aventador. And this is what's going to happen if you lock in. If you shame yourself and remind yourself and motivate yourself, I think you'd be amazed at what can be accomplished. Maybe you just build out a board like this for yourself, maybe not. But I think just the motivation on itself doesn't work. Just the reminders on itself doesn't work. Motivation plus reminders don't work. I think most case people would know, like, I have a vision board, I journal or something, but the shame is pretty excellent. It just cuts deep. The deeper it cuts, the better. And you could have, in place of this, you could have got your heart broken at a young age, or you could have had it like a parent who made you feel like you weren't enough, but that would probably do the trick as well, and you wouldn't need this part. But if that wasn't you, it's all good, right? And that's not me either. I'm disclaimer there. I never had my heart broken yet, and my parents were both great. But I know a lot of people whose entire life is because some girl made them not feel like they were enough when they were 21 years old, or same with like a father growing up or something. Also very good. So we got to use positive forces. We got to use dark forces. Anything that we need, because we need to keep working. And we need to do this forever. And I don't know, like, there's never been for me that moment where, like, I feel like a lot of people wait for that moment where they're just going to transform. Don't think, well, I've been at it for 12 years. I've never experienced that moment yet. So I feel like it's just shame, reminders, motivation cycle over and over again. And then you just get like 5% more efficient, 5% more efficient, waste 5% less time until you just win. So with that being said, let's take a picture of this, and I'll see you in the next video.